Hey guys, it's Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and as I live stream Borderlands 2, the question I get most often is, should I buy this game? I have been waiting to finish the first playthrough so that I could answer that question, and I feel like I'd be a little more qualified than someone who just started playing. So, some ground rules. 1, this will have no spoilers. You can watch this thing and still enjoy the game. What you're watching is the first few seconds of this game, so you're not missing anything. That you'll see this right as soon as you buy it. And 2, I sometimes talk about other games when I review my current game. I feel like it's a common language that we all speak. There are people on Earth who feel like comparing one game to another is completely inappropriate. If you're that guy, click away now. But to me, it's a common language we all speak. So, given that rule, let's talk about multiplayer. In this game, you can play 4 people at once, and of course you only shoot AI, so it's not like a Call of Duty type thing. It's you 4, common goal, trying to advance your way through the story and the side missions, etc. I remember when I played Left 4 Dead a lot, the magic in that game was that it got strangers to cooperate. You died often enough that if you didn't help out your teammates, then they weren't going to help out you. There was even a voting system that allowed you to kick bad people from your game so that you didn't have to put up with them. This game is a similar way. I don't know about the voting system, but it's similar in that when you drop and your teammate picks you up, he makes those deposits in your emotional bank account. That's not a game mechanic, it's a life mechanic where you know, all right, he helped me out. It inspires me to help him out, and I know that in the future, together if we work as a team, we'll be more successful than we would if we tried to go at it alone. So the multiplayer in this, when 4 people go through this together, it's an awesome thing because you're actually encouraged to work together as a team, and I like that a lot. Have you played Call of Duty in multiplayer? That gone domination or TDM. Are you guys working as a team, collectively calling out bad guys, asking for help when you need it? Probably not. But Left 4 Dead, Borderlands 2, in games like this, you probably are. You're probably working together with random strangers as a team with a common goal and having fun and hopefully talking to each other and stuff. So I really like that aspect of it. What is this game? It's a role-playing game. You go through, there's a storyline, kind of like a Fallout 3, and there's side missions that will help you level up. If you skip all the side missions, you're going to really struggle with the main story because, the bad guys are going to be a higher level than you, and you're going to have a hard time getting kills and suffering through. So anyway, I find the story to be awesome and engaging, but I won't give it away. But I'll just say that, I was doing side missions partially just because I wanted to know more about what I'll quote-unquote the movie that's playing in front of me. I wanted to hear this story, and it captured me. It brought me into it. I liked the game. The visuals. No Borderlands review, or Borderlands 2 in this case, would be complete without talking about the way that the game looks. Some people love it, like me. Some people hate it. Originally, when they built this game, it looked like a bad modern shooter, in my humble opinion. And then they decided to do cell shading, which gives it this kind of cartoony look that you're seeing in front of you, and I love it. There are 2 parts of visuals. There are aesthetics and there are graphics. Graphics are the level of polygons on there, the complexity of the textures, the impressiveness of what's happening in front of you. And sometimes games have great graphics, but they're not nice to look at. And other times there's games like Ratchet and Clank, which have lousy graphics, but beautiful aesthetics. The Robot Unicorn, I don't know, I forget, the Robot Unicorn game, the Flash game we all see. That game has terrible graphics, but it has lovely aesthetics. And this game, to me, has great visuals because of the aesthetics. The graphics are fine, there's nothing to complain about, but I like the way the world looks. I like looking at this world. I like being in this game. I find it a pleasant place to be, and that is really what I look for in a game's visuals. A game like, for me, for example, Black Ops, the one that's 2 years old, it was ugly to look at all the time. Black Ops Zombies in particular, with their fog and their darkness and their rain and whatever, that sucked to look at, in my opinion. This game is nice to look at. It's a pleasant place to hang out, so I really like the visuals in Borderlands 2. Some people see the graphics and they feel like they're incomplete. I'm not in that boat. I think it's really pretty cool. The last thing I want to talk about before I say, buy it or not buy it, is the playtime. It's one of the things that I consider when I buy a game. Does this thing give you value for your dollar? For example, I really like the game Portal and Portal 2, but they're expensive to me. BioShock is even a better example. I played BioShock for maybe 6 hours and I bought it for $60. Did I love the game? Yes, but you know, that game was like $10 an hour. Whereas a game like Call of Duty, which maybe I have $110 into, something like that, I've played that game for days and days and days and days and days. Tons of time into Modern Warfare 3 because, you know, it has a ton of replayability time. This game is somewhere in between. You know, there's a story. Once you've seen the story, you know what's going on. But in my opinion, it's still interesting enough that, you know, I wanted to play it again in true Vault Hunter mode. So in this game, you beat the entire thing, you go through the storyline, and then you do it again, but you're more powerful and all the enemies are more powerful, and it gives the thing a slightly different feel. It's interesting. And then, by the way, there's 4 characters you can play as. So, you know, once you play as this, my character's playstyle is a real rusher, right? He has this thing where he can sort of run at the enemies holding 2 weapons at one time and get work done. Well, there's other characters that might be snipers and other characters that are middle distance guys, and it changes the gameplay enough that you can do this thing more than once and still enjoy yourself. So yeah, because of the variation in the characters and the play styles and such, it wouldn't surprise me to learn that somebody had 6 or 8 days worth of playtime in this. Now, I'll say COD 4, some people got like 65 days of playtime on the extreme. That to me is one of the biggest discounts in gaming, whereas a game like BioShock is one of the most expensive games in gaming because it's full price and you just do it one time. This is somewhere in the middle. Last thing I'll talk about is the loot. One of the things that people find interesting about this game is that it has 1 billion guns in it. And I wanted to sort of share my opinion on this. And again, I talk about other games to help explain because it's a common language we all speak. Does this game have 1 billion guns? Kind of, sort of. What they do is they take maybe 50 different base guns and they change up which animals it's most effective with. For example, this thing here shoots fire. Fire is particularly vulnerable against things that have flesh or fur, like what I'm killing right now. Other games shoot acid, or other guns shoot acid, and they're particularly vulnerable against robots. So, you know, there's I think 4 different things that they can shoot, maybe more than that. Some just shoot regular bullets. And then there's different powers, right? You could have this same identical gun I have, but maybe yours does 10 more points of damage, you know, per time that you pull the trigger. And that, in Borderlands speak, is a different gun. If we were to compare it to Call of Duty, let's say the only gun in the game was the M16, but it came with and without a silencer, and it came with 15 different camos. Borderlands 2 would call that 30 guns, because there's 15 versions of it with the camos without a silencer, and then you add a silencer, and there's 15 more versions of it. All of a sudden, that's 30 guns. That's how they get to their billion number. They take every combination of anything in this like sort of random gun generator that they have, and all of a sudden, boom, you know, there's 1 billion guns in the game. It's interesting though, because it makes you have to look at all the loot carefully, and you have to decide whether this new thing that you've stumbled upon, this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see this particular gun, is worthy of dropping something else in your inventory for. So that's it. Now, let's get down to the final question. Should you buy this game? So, different people have different rating systems. Some just say yes, some just say no. Wings of Redemption has the best rating system on YouTube, where he gives things like 2 wings down and a shit and a fuck or something like that. I'm sorry for the bad words. But it cracks me up. Me, how I rate games is I sort of block them into, if you buy this many games a year, it belongs on your list. And with Borderlands 2, I would say, you know, depending on your interest in RPG games, if you're buying between 3 and 5 games a year, this is AAA titles, then this probably belongs on your list. It's one of the top 3 to 5 games. If you buy 1 game a year, to me, I still think COD is the best value and best replay thing on you know, going on. But that's just me. You might be tired of COD. You know, a lot of people are. You know, but shucks, if you were to buy 3 games this year, I mean, Borderlands 2, Minecraft, and Call of Duty might be a pretty good trio, you know, to throw in there. And if you buy 5 games a year, then, you know, this almost definitely belongs on that list. So there's my review. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, that's that. If you want to see more of this gameplay, I'll probably be live streaming it again shortly. So have a good day. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to click like. If you're new around here, you can click subscribe in the top right blue box. And here's 2 videos you may have missed. Have a good day.